Well, Amadou Onana to Arsenal transfer revived, and it's the second consecutive summer transfer window, and I think a third consecutive transfer window that Arsenal found themselves interested into Amadou Onana, and these links were confirmed to us last summer by Fabrizio Romano, David Austin. In January, it was the same case. Arsenal looking in for midfielder because Thomas Partey was really injured, but they went ahead to obviously have a very huge start. When they left Dubai, Arsenal was like, is there any need for us to go in for a midfielder? Let's obviously go in and bring in no one. And Everton have also gone ahead to react to what story we've gone ahead to get right now, and they've gone ahead to look in for replacement for Amadou Onana, meaning that there are high chances they are not going to keep him this summer transfer window. And Hansi Flick has obviously arrived in Barcelona to obviously see himself put pen to paper and get unveiled as the new manager of Barcelona. But remember, before he came in through and even touched down Barcelona, the manager of Barcelona, the former manager of Barcelona, who goes by the names of what's his name? Who goes by the names of Xavi, has come out and obviously spoken hugely about this guy. He warned him that where you are coming, it's not gonna be an easy attempt. It's really gonna be one of the hardest attempts for you to come in through, because this team doesn't entertain failure. If you fail to win, they will show you the exit door in a nick of time. We thank God for the gift of life. The Muslim is Barakallahu Fikum. Let's see close to 300 likes. Smash on this video. Summer transfer window heating up like never before, and I'm really liking the way you guys are going ahead. Obviously, reciprocate back the love to me. I love it, and that really keeps me charged. Obviously, coming through and do the needful and really talk to you in the best way possible. Don't forget to subscribe. We want to hit 21,000 subscribers, 300 subscribers. 21,300 subscribers, and when you are done with that, a lot will go on well. So where should we start from? Let's obviously start from it's not Amadou Onana, this is Amadou Onana. Amadou Onana is a Belgian international, and he has found himself in a position of being linked to Arsenal on several times. Then the Purple Panel, independent football journalist covering transfer market and business related aspects in the Premier League. He has told us that Arsenal are considering new options to sign Amadou Onana from Everton this summer. Club were interested in signing him in January, but outgoing transfers presented difficulties that prevented the move. Now, this guy Amadou Onana is really a player that ticks all the boxes for the club of Arsenal. When you talk about ticking all the boxes, or really feeling or ticking every box of the puzzle, this boy is really one of a kind. And when you look at his age, he doesn't look like his age, I tell you, because he's just 22 years of age, and on the and August 16th he's going to be making 23 years of age. He's still young, but the physicality and his work rate is really out of this world. When you look at his distance he covers, the physicality and his talent all combined, he trains out to be one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. And I tell you, I would refer him to Declan Rice. When Declan Rice was playing for West Ham, no one could see all his attributes like we saw them orchestrated out at the club of Arsenal. And I think that's the same ilk in which Amadou Onana is in. And Arsenal look like they are gonna go in for maybe 2 all-round midfielders. And when you look at the price of this guy, Amadou Onana, he's valued at £50 million. Remember, even Zubimendi is around that amount of money. Now, if you're Arsenal, what do? Do you get £100 million and spend it on either Douglas Luiz or Bruno Guimaraes? Because all of those, for Douglas Luiz, £105 million. Then for Bruno Guimaraes, it's £100 million net. You understand? Now, if you have £100 million, you can get in Martin Zubimendi and Amadou Onana. What do you do? Put yourself into the picture of Mikel Arteta, because I told you I'm very soon gonna bring you a video of what Edu has gone ahead to say about the summer plan of Arsenal that everyone feels like it's really gonna be enticing and interesting this summer transfer window. Now, what do? I tell you, if I'm Arsenal and I feel like my budget is restrained because I need to bring in a world-class finished article striker and maybe a left back, those are for players, and I'm having like 230 million pounds to spend, I think I leave Bruno Guimaraes and I leave Douglas Luiz. I go in for Amadou Onana and Zubimendi Martin for 100 million pounds. Then I get close to 50-60 million pounds to either bring in what's the striker? It's called Benjamin Sheshko, you understand? Or Zikezi. Maybe you can go for Gyökeres. And I think for the left back, Arsenal can get the left back for like 30-40 million pounds. I think that can act well. But at the moment Arsenal stretches like they did last time to bring in a player who is worth 105 million pounds, that means their budget would have gone ahead to really be utilized close to 55%, and they'll need to get in other players either on loan or not even bring them in, because we all know Arsenal wanted to bring in 2 midfielders last time. You know, they thought that maybe Declan Rice would go for 80 million pounds and Moise Caicedo could go for the same amount of money, and they failed to do that because West Ham told them that we want 105 million pounds for Declan Rice, and no sooner they went ahead to make their first bid for Declan Rice than Fabrizio Romano came out and really cleared the air and said it's now done and dusted. Arsenal are out of race to sign Moise Caicedo. Now, I at a certain point think of the same scenario happening. At the moment Arsenal go in for a midfield of 100 million pounds plus, they are gonna really get out of the race for any midfielders. That means they'll only sign one, you know, get in a striker, get in a left back, and for the right attacking midfielder who is left-footed, they might do what they did for David Raya and maybe try to loan the player, get him on loan and maybe buy him next season. And as we talk about that budget, we had even forgotten that Arsenal has to pay close to 30 million pounds for David Raya's transfer to make it permanent from a loan from the side known as Brentford. So that means Arsenal has already 30 million pounds that are supposed to cross from their bank account to the bank account of Brentford, meaning that if the budget is 230 million pounds approximately, they are left with 210 million pounds. The moment you risk and sign a 100 million pound player, you'll obviously have gone into that ilk of obviously not getting the players that you want. Yet I think what Arsenal now need are players. They need players that are really good. You know, I've been one of the advocates for a team to have what we call, for Arsenal to go in for finished articles. But I think Amadou Onana, for me, has reached a level of really getting to the next level, like next stage in his career. That is it. Even I think even Zubimendi, he played in the Champions League last season with Real Sociedad and they were knocked out of the round of 16, I think, by PSG. Not so? So, as it stands, I think Amadou Onana, for me, he's ready for the up game. And for the 2 seasons, I was going to play for Everton in the Premier League. The first season played 33 games, 1 goal, 2 assists. And this season, or the previously concluded season of 2023-2024, he played 30 games, 2 goals and 0 assists, 5 yellow cards and 0 red cards. That is Amadou Onana for you. And I tell you what, he's the lad that I think can really come in through at Arsenal. His physicality. Imagine Arsenal having a midfield of Declan Rice and Amadou Onana, you know, alongside Martin Odegaard. Do you know how that will be? Do you know how that will look? It will be one of the most enticing midfields that every team will ever want to really have. And the opponents will be very much flabbergasted every time they really face this side because they are talented. They're having what we call the physical attributes and the energy. And guess what? Arsenal scored close to 20 set pieces during their recently concluded season in the Premier League. You bring in Amadou Onana, he has what we call the aerial threat because his height is really one of the best He's 1.92 meters. He has the same height like Erling Haaland. Now, you know what? Arsenal will be bringing him through to their side. That is Amadou Onana, transfer to Arsenal revived, and it's back on the ladder, back on the cards. We wait to see whether Arsenal will really make a choice. But I would like to obviously bring you up to speed. If at all you never watched the video I did yesterday about Thomas Partey, in that tweet or post that Fabrizio Romano put up about Thomas Partey, he said Arsenal are looking in for very many midfielders, and they're really having options, and we wait to see which one they are gonna choose. That is it. We are waiting to see which option Arsenal is gonna choose. The list is endless. Zubimendi, Onana, Douglas Luiz, Bruno Guimaraes. Who else? Which other midfielder Arsenal is being linked to? I think Arsenal is linked to like 6 midfielders, right? Fofana, Moussa Fofana is another one. Then who else? I've forgotten. There is another name. Frankie de Jong is another one that is going to have to be linked to Arsenal. Close to a list of 7 midfielders that are going to have to be linked to Arsenal this summer, and they'll have to obviously look at. We all know that the favorites: Zubimendi, Douglas Luiz, Bruno Guimaraes, Amadou Onana. Now, out of those 4, Arsenal will choose whether to bring in a pair of Amadou Onana and Zubimendi, all to go in for one. I tell you, if they go in for one on either Douglas Luiz and Bruno Guimaraes, forget the rest. They'll be done. They'll be done. And will Arsenal allow Bruno Guimaraes to cross to Man City? We wait and see how that really pans out. But that's the story that we had. Now, after Everton hearing that, Arsenal have gonna hit obviously put in another gear to obviously hate Amadou Onana. They've also gonna hit to find out a solution. Remember, they're really having what you call financial problems. If you get in Amadou Onana and sell him to Arsenal for 50 to 60 million pounds, that means you can use that amount of money to balance up your books. Now, what are they gonna hit to do? They don't want to obviously spend money on a midfielder like something huge. What they've gonna hit to do to sit at the balance their books right, they've decided to obviously explore a loan move for Kalvin Phillips. Kalvin Phillips has been struggling at Man City, and there was a story that if Leeds returned into the Premier League, Kalvin Phillips would have gonna hit to be given a chance to go and play for his boyhood club, and they think that would have been the best jumper to get him back to the player they signed. And I tell you, at Leeds, he was one of the best players in the league, one of the best midfielders in the league, and I admired him a lot. I tell you. But all ended in vain when he went at Man City, and I have no soft heart for him, because the way he slated my club that I support, Manchester United, you know, he diabolically came out and really said bad things about Manchester United, that he cannot play for Man United. Man City is the side because of the beef Leeds has with Manchester United. And I said, all right, you deny to come to Manchester United, but you tend to regret. And I tell you what, the first season he regretted. Second season, he has also gonna hit to regret. And in the second half of the season, he was loaned to West Ham, where things never went on well. Back at Man City, injured. That is Kalvin Phillips for you. Now, him being injured, he returned to the side of Man City. He's undergoing treatment, and we all know that he's going to be fit, because he's not part of the English national team squad that is going to be playing in the Euros, and that is a very huge red flag for the player, meaning that Everton might be looking at him as a replacement for Amadou Onana, to come in through and play in that midfield alongside Gueye, Ghana, and Dokore. That midfield 4 in there for you. So wait and see how Man City are going to react, because they might want to obviously sell him this time round. But if you're Man City, you look through and ask yourself, can we sell him? Can we get back the amount of money that we want? Because teams like Juventus that were interested in him, I think they pulled out of the race because they were told to pay 55 million pounds that Man City paid to obviously get him from Leeds. And I think for Man City, they had gone ahead to think that when they loan him to West Ham, the player is gonna hit the ground running. Go to the Euros and then impress everybody and get back to the price that they obviously bought him from the side of Leeds. So we wait and see how that really pans out. But that is Amadou Onana for you. And let's obviously try to see how things really pan out and how things really get on along. Now, let's leave the side of Merseyside and London and let's fly to Catalonia. That is Barcelona, Spain. And the all-along waited for person is here. He has jetted in. That is Hans Flick. Story confirmed. He has gone ahead to touch down Barcelona to obviously sign all contracts because they are already prepared. This is Helena Condias Edo. What a nice name. Helena Condias Edo, right? She has told us that Hans Flick has arrived in Barcelona. Hans Flick is going to be the manager of Barcelona. And after Xavi got sacked, this is going to be the guy to replace Xavi at that team of Barcelona. And we are all told that it's happening on Tuesday. And as you know, today is the 28th of May, Tuesday, 2024. The guy has touched down the airport. And that's how he touched down the airport of Catalonia to obviously coming through and represent for the side of Barcelona. And I think Barcelona have gone ahead to gate themselves the best manager on the market. That is it. He's a winner. He has won the Champions League with Bayern Munich. His reputation is really undoubted. He is a very good manager. He has the experience, and that dressing room of Barcelona is going to sit down and listen to this guy because he has done it. He has done it. Although at the national team of Germany, he looked really done, but I think Germany was on its way down, and I think this time around is at a team of Barcelona that has very many huge youngsters, and he has gone here to prove that he's good at obviously grooming youngsters. Look at how he ushered into Musiala. You know, Musiala is one of the most talented central attack midfielders in the world after Kevin De Bruyne, Odegaard, and Bruno Fernandes. I think Musiala comes into that queue. So, apart from Musiala, he has there is another called Tell. There is another guy that was really young in that squad of Bayern Munich. You understand? That went ahead to give a go. Now at Barcelona, he comes at Barcelona where he's going to find a queue of talented players. Pedri. You know, there is Gavi. There is Kubasi, that 17-year-old centre-back that pocketed Mbappe in Paris. They're having Alejandro Balde, youngster. There is Yamal, that one who is really very promising and really had a very good debut season. At the age of 16, Yamal has gone ahead to do lots of things. And I think those youngsters are going to be put into the best hands of a manager that can best gauge them to the levels and hit their ceiling at Barcelona. And I think there are very many other youngsters from the La Masia that have gone ahead to obviously get a chance under Xavi that Hans Flick is really going to usher into the first team, you know? And you know what La Masia Academy is all about? It's one of the best academies in the world. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Your reactions to Amadou Onana to Arsenal transfer, revived or rekindled by Arsenal, are welcome in the comment section below. Would you go Zubimendi and Amadou Onana for £100 million, or you go only for either Douglas Luiz or Bruno Guimaraes for £100 million, right? Let's see what you guys have to say about that. Then Hans Flick touching down Barcelona. What do you make about it? What are your expectations of Hans Flick? Do you think he's going to be that manager to take Barcelona back to the glory days? Because Barcelona, I think, last won the Champions League. And Luis Enrique, I think that's the season of 2013, 2014 when they beat Juventus in the final by 3-1. Neymar, Lionel Messi, and Suarez. That was the MSN combination that was really doing havoc to any team they really fought. And I think that was the last time Neymar played for Barcelona, and he found himself really going to PSG. Then, lastly, Kalvin Phillips. Do you think Everton are in for Kalvin Phillips, and alone because they noted that Amadou Onana is going to be a player that teams like Arsenal are really interested in. All that and more into the comment section below. Good evening. Bye-bye.